So welcome to this workshop. Today we're going to be talking about all the ins and outs of Prospect Square. So going just to MyCB Desk, tile looks just like this. You would click on Prospect Square, and then we're brought to something that's similar looking to this. Obviously, yours is going to be a little bit different just because I'm not an agent. I love Prospect Square. I tell all my agents in my region that they should be, at least somewhat involved in Prospect Square. For the main reason is I tell them to come in for two things. One is reports, and two is the property emails, and that's what we're going to mainly cover in today. But also, kind of going off of the last class or workshop that I had before, is this is a great tool to use. Um, with starting with connections that you have. One, because it works similar, or it is its own CRM. But two, it's a great kind of connection base in starting people on some sort of email campaign. In particular, when we're talking about that is through reports. And I'll go into more detail on what I'm talking about that. But this is a great place. Maybe you're looking to start having people receive information from you on a regular basis. This is the great tool for you to kind of start in that area. So let's first talk about what kind of Prospect Square does. One is it helps you generate reports, and what we're going to talk about. So if I go into reports, we're going to see area reports, market reports, and quarterly reports. And then two, it also helps us create property emails, or we call them e-flyers, that are sent out to anybody. All of this information is pulled from MLS data. So your MLS will be automatically connected to this, along with you have access to other MLSs, maybe that you're not even involved with, but you can still see properties information based upon that MLS that you're not even associated with. So before we start getting into these tools or these kind of different categories that we have over here, let's first start with this is in its own sense, its own CRM, meaning it's its own database. And that's how we're going to be able to send out emails of the reports or emails of e-flyers of properties through this system. But we'll probably have to first start off with uploading contacts. So to make everybody's life easy, if we go to contacts, this will then give us our contacts that we just generally have in this platform. So any past contacts that you use, utilize, and so forth. To upload your contacts, let's say that you have an Excel sheet, or let's say that you use another CRM like InTouch, you will have to import those contacts into this platform. It doesn't feed from that other platform. But as easy as just going to imports, import contacts, you click next, you would describe or say which file it is. So if it's from Outlook, if you have that, if it's from an Excel file or a CSV file, typically that's mostly what people use. You would designate that, you would accept the terms, click next. Then we're going to browse and upload that file. So go to your CRM or go to where your contacts are, whether it be InTouch or if you're going to start using Moxie, it would come from there. You would go export contacts, export the contacts, or make a list of the contacts that you wish to put into the system. Once you download that list, you're just going to go in here, follow the steps that I just did, hit browse, and upload that file that you want to import. And then from there, you'll see maybe take, based upon how many contacts you have, takes a couple seconds, minutes. You'll see all their contact information uploaded in here. Really, all we're looking for is just first name, last name, email for this platform in this case. So if you wanted to break down the list into that, you can. So now let's actually go into, once we do have contacts, what we can do with this platform. So first, let's start off in reports. We have 3 different reports available for you in this section, meaning area reports, market reports, and quarterly reports. Each report, of course, is similar, but each kind of pays attention to its specific metrics or specific information. So let's start with quarterly reports. If we go into quarterly reports, and I go into this section, this is going to provide us quarterly reports based upon what MLS we're looking for, and based upon what kind of county we're looking for. So basically everything in quarter reports is going to really show you a great idea of just everything involved in that county that we're looking for. So for this, really the easiest way to kind of see the quarter reports and kind of maybe display those is if we go to preview and share. And once we're in preview and share, we're going to see all the counties available for us and all the quarter reports available for those counties. So you would just go preview and share and see which report you're looking for. But let's just go. Say I'm looking for Monmouth County because that's where my market is. If I hit this little page right here, this will actually show me a preview of what the report looks like. And again, I'm not an agent, so mine's going to look different, but your information here will have your headshot, your contact information associated with every report that we generate. But if we go through the quarter report, we're going to see a abundance of just different information, and we can see then town breakdown, pulling from each information. This is Q4. It's always to the last quarter, meaning we are in Q1 of 2022. However, we haven't reached the end of March. So right now it's showing Q4 because that was the most updated quarter that we have. So if we keep going through, we could see all the information and a breakdown of really everything that has to do with this county. So this right here, what we automatically can do with this, and it's just to show you how easy it is. Let's say that I want to share this information primarily on my social media feed. Maybe this would be a good topic or something to post every quarter. If I just take this URL right here, I can go to my Facebook page, and let's say I just paste that URL. Then a preview for this report comes up right there on our Facebook. And I can delete this link. We don't have to have that on there. It would still keep the report on there. But then maybe I write, description talking about, here's the quarter report from Monmouth County, take a look and let's discuss and something like that. But this is an active link. They'll be brought directly to that PDF for the quarterly report that we saw. So that's one way that we can use this. Another way we can use these quarter reports is that we can start sending this information out to people. So each quarter that these are updated, people would start receiving the quarter reports relevant to their area. So if I go to browse, and really you're going to see the same kind of walkthrough in each of the other material, but if we hit new, it's going to present us with our quarter report, meaning that we're setting up the foundation for our report. So here we're going to name the report name, something relevant to you so you know what it's talking about. Maybe Monmouth County report to contacts, whatever it may be. For this, we'll just say test. Then under contacts, taking the same contacts that we may have uploaded in what we were talking about before, we can go to browse, and then our contacts will be connected automatically to them, and we can pick and choose who we want to receive this, put as many people as we want on this. We click OK, so that will pull those contacts and their emails in here. We can also go to new contacts, so we don't have them in our content section, but we know exactly who we want to. We can just put their first name, last name, and then email, and their information and their contacts will then be stored in your contacts, but also be put onto this report as well. So from there, we're going to go to market area, and this is just the report that we're going to be sending to people, meaning that we're going to specify what county we want to receive, what county we want them to receive. So if we just hit browse, and once we hit browse, we're going to be brought to that same section that we saw before. We'd go to what county we want. We want Monmouth County. We'd click OK, and then that's really it. Then we're done. So if I hit preview, I'm going to just see that same report that we were just in, and here's my kind of welcome. Here's my information. Here's the same report that we were just in and looking at. And then from there, I just hit save and send. And that quarter report will be sent automatically directly to that person today. And then from there, each quarter that the report is updated, we'll still continue to send them the updated quarterly report to the specific people that we made in this report. So this is a great habit to get into. This is at least some starting point with Prospect Square, meaning that any contacts that we have, if we should start putting them on some sort of something like this, a quarter report that is relevant to their area. Because if you're in my last class, I talked about how important it is. We want to set up email campaigns, but taking that further and setting people up on email campaigns that's relevant to them. So specifically, we can start sending reports automatically, meaning we don't, as soon as we upload the people and what report we want them to see, this will then be sent out on our behalf each quarter. So we don't have to do anything. One, that helps our business because it's automated for us. But two, we're also making connection with the person because this has to do with what they're looking for. So maybe they live in Monmouth County and we make contact with them and then we start them on this Monmouth County quarterly report. So they're receiving something from us at least every quarter, and it has to do with what what county they're living in currently. So that's the kind of habit that we want to get in. And that's what we want to really target our email campaigns for. So from there, we can take this a step further in the next reports, in area reports and market reports. So let's start with area reports. If I go into area reports, again, we're going to see a very similar screen to what we were before. Here's our past reports that we're running. If we hit preview and share, it's similar to what we're in as it just loads. But obviously with area reports, there's going to be a lot more detail because area reports is broken up in, again, the certain counties. So here's Bergen County, but then it goes a step further into Bergen County and then the town. And then Bergen County, the town, then condos and townhouses. Bergen County, the town, single family homes. So these reports are starting to get smaller and smaller and more direct. So if we go to browse and say we're going to start setting people up on area reports, similar to the quarterly reports, if we hit new, we're going to be brought to, again, the same kind of setup settings that we were in before. So we're going to name the report. Let's just do test again. We're going to upload our contacts, either past contacts that we have already in the system, a new contact that's not in our system, but we want to put them on this area report. So for this, I'm just going to put browse. I'll just put myself. And then under market areas, again, same thing. I'm going to choose my market area. I'm going to hit browse. I can go alphabetically, meaning this is in alphabetical order, and I can go down this whole list. But to save you time, I'm going to go to search, and then in search, I'm going to look for what county specifically I'm talking about. Let's just, stick with Monmouth County. So I'm going to go Monmouth County. I'm going to hit search. Then it's going to bring me right to the Monmouth County section. Then I'm going to find what specific town I'm looking for. So let's say I met a contact in the grocery store. I made conversation with them, and let's say that I know they're interested in Allentown. But also more specific, I know they're interested in Allentown for buying a home specifically. So single family home. So I'm going to go in this report section. I'm going to find Monmouth County. I'm going to find the town Allentown, and then I'm going to find single family homes. I could keep them on just everything. So whether, maybe they're interested in condos or apartments, whatever it may be, I can just put them on this list entirely. Or if I wanted to, because I know they're only interested in buying, a family house, then I'm going to put them on that specific report. So when I select that, I'm going to click OK. Then here's my report. I'm going to hit preview. And then here's now the area report for specifically for Monmouth County and specifically for Allentown. So again, similar information that we were looking at before, but now more direct, more closed in, because here's now the polling for Monmouth County, but specifically in Allentown and specifically for single family homes. So we can see new listing home, new listings, sold listing, medium list price, medium sold price. And we can go down the list. Here's more charts. Here's more graphs, more going in more detail, and so forth. So with these area reports, we can get very specific into what that person is specifically looking for. So if we know what town or, what county and what town they're interested in, we can designate a report specifically for them and then send this off to them each month that it's updated. So from there, and I should note that the area reports are sent out each month because similar to the quarter reports where they're updated each quarter, this is done monthly. So the latest month is January because we're currently in February. Next month, when we send this out, it would be February 2022, and then it would send the same updated information to that person as well. So in this case, maybe this report, if we're talking area, this would be a good thing to send to a potential client of yours that's thinking about selling, because it has information on what the list pricings are, the average of days on market, and so forth. But we could also send this, maybe we have a buyer that's interested in moving to Allentown, New Jersey. So we know that. So maybe we just put them or create some report that puts them on receiving the information and the area report based upon that town that they're interested in. So the next and last kind of report that we're going to talk about is market reports. Again, similar to the information, however, displays and kind of pays attention to different metrics as opposed to area. So if we go into market report, again, it's going to operate in the very similar way. But in here, when we go to new, again, we're going to name the report what we want. So I'm just going to say test. But here it's going to ask you for criteria. So in this case, when I click edit, this is where it's going to ask us for what MLS we're interested in. So Bright, Central, whatever MLS you're part of for. Let's just say Central. Then here we have a search criteria of what exactly or what listings that we're looking for, or areas that we're looking for, meaning that I can do a search radius around an address, meaning that, maybe I'm looking for a specific zip code. Let's just put that in, and I can do a search around that radius. Let me just update that. Yep, that's what I'm looking for. So I put that in. Then here we have a couple options, meaning that say we have a buyer that's looking for active listings. We can specify what kind of active listings they're looking for. So maybe I just want to come look for active listings based upon the last 7 days or so. Or maybe I have, and this happened with us recently, maybe I have an agent that is looking, that has a client of theirs, and they're looking to sell their home, but they have an issue with the kind of listing price that that I recommend as an agent to them. So in this case, he came into here and he selected kind of closed past listings in their area. So to compromise a list of actual what houses are actually selling for in their area. So we can use this in this case for that as well. But what this list is going to do is compile, and I'm going to show you a preview of whatever we're searching for, and based upon the MLS, we can search for listings based upon the search criteria. So maybe I have a list price that's in between. Maybe I'm looking for properties within a certain list price. Let's say 400 to 500, or let's just do 600. And then we can do property type. We're looking for residential. Subtype, maybe I'm looking for 4-family. If we wanted to go into what county, city, zip, street name it is. If we have a specific MLS number that we think of a home right away. If we want to designate what bed, bathrooms, and so forth, we can do that as well. But let's just do that search. We click OK. So this is something, the reports, in the sense that based upon what we're putting in, meaning that search kind of criteria that we're looking for, we have to compile a list that's more than 5 homes, meaning that the reports that we're going to generate has to have more than 5 listings and less than 200 listings. So it's a little easier said than done sometimes, depending on your area. So let me see if I take away 4-family and just do residential and click OK. Nope, I need a bigger limit. So maybe I have to do 7. And I click OK. Nope, still not. Maybe I just take out residential just to show you. Wow. Okay. What else am I missing? Let's see. Let's do 15. Oh my goodness. Let's do 9 then. Let's do. Oh, come on. Oh, maybe that was this year. There we go. So sorry, I should have increased my radius. Okay, so based upon that criteria that I'm pulled in, you can see it here, and you don't have to do this. That's just upon what information that we specified before. Then under contacts, same thing. New, upload a new contact or browser old. We'll just put myself on here and click OK. Then under display title, you can write your own title for the report. The email frequency is how often this report, so this criteria, every time something is added up to the MLS, how often we want them to receive it. So we can have this happen every day. We can just do one and done every day, 2 weeks, every month, every quarter, yearly, whatever it is we're looking for. So let's just do every 2 weeks. And this is where we can specify for a buyer, for a seller, prospect, investor. Let's just say for a buyer. And then when I hit preview, just to show you what a report looks like, here's our market report. And if I scroll down, here's a market snapshot. Again, paying attention to a little bit different metrics in this report. Here's, again, the market snapshot for this area. And then specifically, here's the listings available that make that kind of search criteria that we specified. But even more so, if we keep going, here's the actual images of the listings available for that particular area. So this is something that is fantastic to start doing for buyers. Because as you can see, again, setting up something that's automated for our buyers to start receiving. And then we can specify for the exact criteria that we know they're interested in. So if they're in a price range, if they're in they're looking for certain bedrooms, bath, and so forth, we can automate something that's already generating from the MLS, and that will send them updates for properties that meet their criteria. So a great, great, great idea for buyers. Again, also we can use this for sellers as well. In that example, the agent had a the client of theirs was not really happy with the list price. So we went in here and just looked and searched past sold or expired listings or anything along that where actual properties sold, and it gave a breakdown of what the actual listing price average was, and that would be somewhere up in these graphs. But so he can actually come with actual physical data saying, look, this is why I'm listing your property at this value. This is what's selling around your neighborhood, just to give them actual physical examples of where he was getting his number from. So really, between area reports and quarter reports, or area reports, I should say, and market reports, great idea to start utilizing for buyers and sellers in the sense that it's pulling information and directing it to specifically what's interested into them or what has to do with their kind of market or area that they're looking for. From there, just the last thing we'll talk about is report settings. This is where we can go if we want to edit any of those kind of that pre-filled in information that we were looking at before, meaning that when we generated those reports and we all saw the photos dealing with each other, but they also had those kind of intros to people, meaning that welcome to area report, that verbiage that we had, we can come in here and edit any of that information. So if we want to make it a little bit more custom to people, or if we wanted to kind of leave it more general, but also talk about ourselves and put our 2 cents in there, under report settings is how we would change that. And we can say area report, market report, and quarter reports, all the same. So the last thing I want to show you in here in Prospect Square is we talked about reports. We talked about how great those are, but also under property emails. So if we go to property emails and we hit create emails, this again is going to bring up that same search criteria that we were looking at before. So particularly, this is great for if we have buyers, and a lot of my agents, as we all do, we have a lot of buyers right now. This is a great thing to get in the habit of utilizing. just because, again, pulling from our MLS here, we can search for properties. We can set up our criteria that's specific for our buyers and search like we did in the last reports. But also we can come under my active listings that will pull from your MLS information. Obviously I'm not an agent, so I don't have any, but it would also pull from your office listings. So directly what office that you're associated with, this will then show all of the listings available in your particular office. So maybe you just want to promote obviously your listings, but also just promote listings available in your office because you know the agents in that office. But let's just to show you what one of these e-flyers look like, let's just do a search. And let's say I did a search, or this is my office listings, or whatever it is. Let's say that this is the perfect, this is exactly what my buyer is looking for. So if I click on that property and I hit create email, it then will bring up templates for that e-flyer, meaning you can come in here and kind of see which template you want to use. Let's say that this first one's great. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm going to hit generate. It will then generate based off of the MLS information, a quick e-flyer for that exact property. So here, in this case, if I hover over the photos and say I don't like this as the main photo image, I can select, and scroll through the actual photos of the MLS and choose, maybe I like that photo as my first one. I can do that for each photo. But if I go to edit and continue, and again, following the same things that we did, here's my subject headline for my email. I can say, look at this new property, and so forth. Upload my contacts again. A very important thing is uploading your property website, because if they receive our e-flyer and they click on it, then they'll be brought to our property website. That's a great idea. But if I keep scrolling below to edit, this is where I can start changing, uploading a headline, verbiage, font size, text color, videos, anything I want. Again, it pulls from the MLS and pulls all that information from there, but we can come in here and edit anything that we want and change. And of course, at the end, here's your contact information that we pulled in from the system as well. So doing this, and then, I know that we ran through that quickly, but you can see how little of time it takes. We can do a search, find a couple properties, and send those out to our buyers. I recommend, agents when they wake up in the morning, do this for 15 minutes for X amount of buyers that they have. It's a great resource and something that's quick, easy, and able to be done for part of your business as well. But with that being said, that just about does it. Does anybody have any questions?